Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in. Brand new episode of Snaps. A very distracted episode of Snaps here today as LSU and Georgia squaring up with one another in Hoover, Alabama, the SEC baseball tournament right now. For Georgia, this doesn't mean much. They've already wrapped up a regional host. They could potentially push into a national host, a top 8 seed with a solid showing here in Hoover. But for LSU, this game could be the difference between making the postseason tournament or not, as LSU had an awful first half of SEC
Georgia's
play.
ass.
Well, look, it's baseball. It's college baseball. You never fucking know. Never count your chickens. And Georgia still has one of the most explosive lineups in the entire country, obviously headlined by Charlie Condon. Now, for LSU, coming into this game, the staff, this second half, has actually been incredible. And for Georgia, like, their powers at the plate, their staff is their weakness. And LSU throwing their Friday night guy, Engage Jump, on short rest. He's still in the game. Whereas Georgia going with the Johnny Holstaff approach, and it has not paid dividends thus far. Get foul, you son of a bitch. All right.
Is it a one game? Is Georgia one and done?
The first round is single elimination. Yes. Okay. If you advance past this round, you enter the double elimination portion tournament. Again, LSU right now, it doesn't matter. Georgia's fine. I mean, you may miss out on becoming a national seed, but again, you're already fine. Don't take out Gage. Come on. But he's at 102 pitches. You may need to take him out. Anyway, whatever. I'm sorry, guys. I got to be honest. My balls are in my throat. We love LSU baseball around here. It is so much fun. I'm nervous as fuck. I need LSU to win this game to guarantee that they make the postseason and all will be right in the world. And yes, look at my fucking hair that y'all are about
tomorrow, baby.
I hope you're happy. I mean, look at how full and voluminous.
I hope you're happy that you're finally doing what you said you would do. This isn't about me. This is about you being a man of your word. That's it.
There's never any doubt. Let me tweet out the link real quick. Aaron, talk about something.
I tweet out the link. Just
well, I'm going to as well, dummy.
Okay. Big news today. We're breaking down Jaden Rashada suing Billy Napier. Maybe get into a little ESPN top 25. That'll be the plan. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We did get to 15.5. Next up, 16K right around the corner.
15.5. Let's go. Even with our shoddy YouTube uploading, even though you're doing a great job with the shorts. But yeah, we love to see it, guys. Please continue. Okay, full count. This is a big pitch for Gage. This may be the last guy that he sees. This guy. What do you mean, this guy, Aaron? Yeah, okay, I know, but a lot of people do. The SEC does. The SEC does. That's why they're about to have 4 of the top 8 seeds in the entire country. Yes, please. Got him. Yes. Fuck yes. All right, boys. 6 more outs. I hate counting outs, but here we are. Okay. I'm gonna try to focus, guys. I really am going to try my best. I'm sorry. We still have a show coming up Thursday as well this week because the Jaden Rashada story is actually crazy in that. Or let me ask you this, Aaron. What was your initial reaction when you saw Jaden Rashada suing?
The timing's perfect now that he's a quarterback at the University of Georgia. You know how funny is that? Georgia quarterback sues Billy Napier, Florida head coach. And for those who don't know, like, this has been in the works for a long time before he even got to Georgia. This isn't like Kirby Smart brings him to the room. Hey, you remember that time that Florida screwed you out of $13 million? Maybe you should sue them. Like, this isn't like in the past month, Kirby trying to really put an axe to Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. This has been something, as anyone knows, like, the legal system takes forever.
Bro, anybody who's trying to say too that this is Kirby led is insane. Now, he did give his blessing, right? Like,
yes,
Jaden Rashada told him, and the legal team said, "Hey, we're gonna do this." That's fine, but like, Kirby doesn't give a fuck about Jaden Rashada's former NIL deals. Here's what I would say. I wonder if a lot of people's first instincts were maybe not unlike my own, where you see this story and maybe your temptation is to say, oh, this is just sour grapes from a player who had all this money coming his way. kind of fumbled the bag a bit, ended up not being great freshman year at Arizona State, and now he's mad they never got that money.
Fumble the bag? Did he? How did he fumble the bag?
Well, again, so I'm not saying he did. What I'm saying is I feel like that was partially, me personally, some of my first reaction when I saw this headline. And then I think there's probably a lot of people that also probably feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know how you can fumble the bag when you were promised X amount of dollars, and then last second they essentially pull the rug from you and say, "Oh, oops, sorry, never mind. We actually don't have the funds to pay you."
Well,
and then,
so but I don't. But we didn't know
that.
But we didn't know that before reading about this. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Is when you actually read about this situation and what is being alleged. Although I don't know how much legal ground Rashada has to stand on. He's got a very good lawyer, which we'll get into. I don't know how much legal ground that he has to stand on, but it looks fucking awful on Florida.
Yeah.
Like it looks really bad.
It looked awful a year ago when it first happened.
I know, but now it looks even worse. I'm saying they look like a complete and utter joke.
Yeah, which is why it's really surprising me they were able to get the number one quarterback in the country a year ago after this whole debacle where, first of all, you promised way too much. Jaden was number 8 quarterback and was going to get paid more than anyone else in that quarterback class. Yeah. So you already overspent when you made the promise. Then you weren't able to pull the funds together. Then he decommits and goes somewhere else. So I thought you looked pretty bad then. My view of the situation hasn't changed. And I know there's a lot of people now saying, oh, now this is just another excuse to get rid of Billy Napier. There's another reason. You want to get rid of him now. Like we're way too close to the season to get rid of him, but it does add more fuel to the fire of, if the season goes the way we expect it to go, there's a million different reasons why you can probably get out of the contract without having to pay Billy Napier out too much when it's all said and done.
Unreal bad look that Billy Napier, at a time when he is already a dead man walking, now is in a literal unprecedented situation where you have an active SEC quarterback suing a sitting rival head coach. So let's get into the lawsuit.
Florida football. Where does this set Florida football right now? I mean, we're talking about most likely after 2024 having to find a new coach. You've been in the news mostly negative, especially when it comes to NIL, which we talked about yesterday. Like NIL is it's the biggest thing in college football right now. Like that, these kids want to get paid. The word on the street is Florida can't pay, Florida can't do this, Florida can't do that. And with the new coach, like, when will Florida be back to being Florida?
I think the bigger problem is not any of these headlines or recent news cycles as much as it is how the last 3 coaches' tenures have gone in Florida, where you had Jim McElwain consistently making it to Atlanta. And yet, despite a lot of wins, there was such distaste between the community and McElwain that he starts making up stuff about death threats. They use that as a launching pad to get him out of there. Then you hire a literal genius X's and O's guys in Dan Mullen, who also was winning you a shit ton of games, but for whatever reason, there was a massive disconnect between the Florida community and him, and recruiting was kind of the wedge that we used to break that relationship open. And now you have another massive disconnect between the Florida community, in this case, Hugh Hathcock and the Gator Collective, and the head coach. We always talk about, for so many years, Aaron, we talk about like Texas being run by the boosters, are kind of out of control culture-wise. Texas A&M out of control culture-wise. Florida feels completely out of control culture-wise through multiple tenures now. So if you're telling me where's Florida football right now, I'm telling you, for the modern age, this is rock bottom. Is that going to fall? No, it's not. Okay, this is rock bottom.
No, I agree, and it's crazy to think, growing up, especially in the state of Florida, with Tebow, with the teams in the 90s, with all the success, with the offenses, with the Heisman Trophy winners, with the national championships, with all the talent in the state of Florida, you're like, man, like why would Florida ever be in a situation that it is today? And you could blame coach situations. You could blame for a long time the lack of interest of trying to build facilities to compete with the Alabamas and the A&Ms and the Georgias of the world. Like, they were kind of the last ones to have all the bells and whistles when it came to that. Like, But you
I mean,
can't make
never
that
forget.
excuse
Hold on, real
anymore.
quick,
You
to,
can't
to
make that excuse
reinforce that
anymore, though.
point. I know, but to reinforce that point, I mean, Urban Meyer, when they were in the midst of winning national championships, his office was in the stadium. The big project that he had to beg for was to just get a nice welcome room built
Yeah.
into the stadium with like the trophies on display and stuff. Before that, at a day and age where LSU had already had a football ops for years, thanks to Nick Saban, with like this beautiful entry room and whatnot, people, if you were going to visit Urban Meyer in Florida, you would enter in like a service entrance.
Yeah.
So yes, they were insanely, and it's partially because Urban Meyer probably why that stuck around, because they're like, well, fuck it, he didn't have that shit, and we won Natty, so like we don't need that. And they finally came around and were convinced that they do, but it's just at a time where they don't have the coach.
No, and I still think that there has to be a group of fans that are still regretting getting rid of Dan Mullen and the success that he had and the offense he had. You're trying to compare coaches to, and this has been the problem for a decade and a half now. Everyone tries to compare their coaches to Nick Saban, which is impossible. And then for Florida, you're trying to compare your coach to Kirby. And I get it. It's your biggest rival. It's your biggest rival a lot of times when it comes to recruiting. You know, it's a rival year in and year out, and one of the best rivalry football games of all, in all of college football. If you ain't getting the job done against them on the recruiting trail and you're not getting it done the football field, that's the first thing that fans are going to want to talk about. And obviously Dan was not doing it off the field when it comes to recruiting. So it was kind of an easy out once he did have that one bad season after the SEC championship the year before.
It is weird though, but again, it goes beyond the recruiting thing. To me, it was clearly there was just distaste for one another. And again, recruiting was the wedge. Yes.
They loved Mullen though when he was there under Urban. Loved her.
Well, but they didn't when it was just him. I mean, otherwise you would not have made such a big deal out of the recruiting thing. You would have found someone to recruit.
When you look at Georgia, and Georgia has 4 or 5 stars in their number 1, 2 class in America, and then Florida has a bunch of 3 and 4 stars, and that's it, and not sniffing 5 stars, that's a problem. It's a problem.
No, I agree, but I'm saying like I don't know. I just feel like if you really were like, no, we have to keep Mullen at all costs, you would empower him with money for facilities and to hire people.
But they were building facilities towards the end of his tenure.
And to do the recruiting heavy lifting. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm reading it wrong. KW, you're a Florida fan in the chat. Maybe you could tell me if I'm reading this wrong or not. I kind of feel like, yes, did recruiting struggle? Absolutely. But I also feel like there was distaste between the two parties. And I always remember hearing rumors that like the boosters and everything didn't like Mullen. So maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. Travis Tinney, could you see someone could you see Florida going after someone like Dan Lanning if this is Billy's last season?
If Dan ain't going to look at Alabama, he ain't looking at Florida.
Yeah, no. I mean, they'll go after him. Like, absolutely. But that would just be such a wild card, lateral, maybe even actually probably a step back, not lateral, step down at this point.
I think A-Barge. I mean, I know that everyone in this chat knows how I feel about Lane Kiffin. I love Lane Kiffin. When any big time job opens up, the first candidate in my mind is Lane Kiffin. Offense. And what do Florida fans want and love more than anything? It's offense. But does Lane not remind you a little bit of Dan Mullen when it comes to recruiting?
I mean, look, Lane Kiffin ain't going to Florida. Again, not after what he built at Ole Miss. Why would he? You're gonna stay in the same conference.
Can you ever win a national championship at Ole Miss?
I don't know, but like you're fucking far away from it at Florida at this point.
You're far away, but at least there's a chance.
Yeah, but Kirby's sucking up all that oxygen, man. I mean,
same conference. There's no East and West now. It doesn't matter.
I know, but the national championship bar is like, I don't know if that's the most solid foundation upon which to make a decision for your career. Is like, okay, well, people have won at Florida before and they've never won at Ole Miss, but Kiffin's already doing things that are unprecedented at Ole Miss. Anyway, let's KW saying no, there was a strong disconnect between Mullen and the boosters from what I remember. So maybe so, but okay, let's get into the lawsuit because we're getting circular here. Come on, Aaron. Come on, baby. Lock in. Shit. Fucking A. How am I supposed to do this for the last 6 outs? So
you're up 6-1. The game's over.
You don't watch enough college baseball to know
6-1
is not shit. 6-1 is not shit. Okay. There we go. Good strike. All right. So right now, Jaden Rashada's camp has filed a lawsuit against Billy Napier, Gator booster Hugh Hathcock, and former football staffer Marcus Castro Walker. They are saying that basically this group induced Rashada to attend Florida with no intention of ever following through on their financial promises. I mentioned a powerful lawyer earlier. Jaden Rashada has hired Rusty Hardin. You may have heard of Rusty Hardin. He has represented Rudy Tomjanovich, Warren Moon, Wade Boggs, Rafer Alston. Do you know who Rafer Alston is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
No.
Okay. Oh wow, you son of look at you little bitch. Rafer Alston was Skip to My Lou from the old And One videos. Do you remember the And One videos growing up?
Yep.
I was an And One fanboy. I used to have shorts down to my ankles, long knee socks, chubby little white pale boy with braces with a headband. I had my KGs on. But yeah, Rafer Alston, Skip to My Lou. He has represented Scottie Pippen, Steve Francis, Roger Clemens, Michael Bennett, Deshaun Watson recently, Adrian Peterson, Kurt Busch. The point is, this guy's a high-profile lawyer that wins a lot of the cases for his clients. It's interesting that he's on the he's not on the defense here. He's on the what do you call it when you're attacking?
The offense?
No, bro, your wife is a lawyer.
Yeah,
help me out here.
She's not a litigator though.
Yeah, but help me out here. Prosecution. Yeah, if that is such a thing with lawsuits. But basically, they're saying that Rashada turned down a $9.5 million deal from Miami to attend Florida because Hathcock and Castro Walker offered $13.85 million. They said at the time that over $5.35 million, along with a $500,000 signing bonus, were going to come through Hathcock's company, Velocity Automotive. Then all of a sudden, Hathcock says, well, actually, look, I'm going to sell Velocity Automotive. I don't want to pay you through that, but don't worry. The money will come from me and the Gator Collective directly. Allegedly, Eddie Rojas, CEO of the Gator Collective, texted Jaden's agent, and it'll be interesting if we approve these texts. Jaden's agent, quote, tell Jaden we look forward to setting him up for life. Need to set up his brokerage accounts ASAP. Dude is rich, and we just got started. So after this, they signed the deal officially November 10th, 2022. The first $500,000 payment is due less than a month later, December 5th. The day after, so December 5th comes and goes, no payment sent. And the day after, the Gator Collective sends Rashada a termination letter saying that they were not going to pay the contract. They've terminated the contract. Still, though, allegedly, the group was promising Rashada that Hugh Hathcock would cover the costs himself. So what Rusty and real quick here. Then on December 21st, so December 5th comes, no payment. Day after, they terminate the agreement. Okay. Then on December 21st, and then they're telling him, look, we're still going to pay you. We're still going to pay you. Then on December 21st, this is big. Napier allegedly personally vouched to Rashada. I don't know if, double play. Let's fucking go, Tommy White. You got him? Yes. Okay. Then on December 21st, Napier allegedly vouched to Rashada personally that Florida alumni were good on their promise and that Jaden would receive $1 million if he signed with Florida, like an immediate million if he signed with Florida National Rashada Day. Jaden, and to kind of back this up, Jaden Rashada's dad texted Jaden's agent saying, quote, Coach Napier said Hathcock's on a plane and he will wire $1 million. He wants the paperwork and I'm sending it if you are good. So in the end, basically, Rusty Hardin says, quote, the collective never had the money, and yet they're making all kinds of promises to the kid. You dangle life-changing, generation-changing money in front of a 19-year-old kid who grew up without it. You can't expect that young person not to be affected by it. The bargaining power is totally unequal here. I mean, that is garbage behavior from Florida if all those allegations.
So once again, goes back to your original comment, like that, there's no fault of Jaden in this situation for me. Like there's no fumbling of the bag. There's no screwing this up. This was all on Florida.
If
This
this
is
is all true,
promises that be if
Yeah.
this was promises that were made, and this is stuff that we knew a year ago. Like, I feel like there's not
the
as much
only
stuff that's
payment that was
changed.
the only payment that was ever actually made was $150,000 back to John Michael Ruiz, the big Miami
Yep.
booster, because apparently he had paid Jaden 150 under the terms of the original deal that Jaden had with Miami that he was later let out of. So yes, this sounds like Florida directly and it's kind of being alleged, and it's kind of what it looks like. Florida directly competing with a
Mhm.
rival over a player and making very empty promises
Yeah.
just to outdo
Mm.
that rival's number. And if we
Mm.
can say one thing about Miami,
They got money.
I was going to say, I haven't seen any of them. I mean, Ruiz is a shady dealer, make no mistake, but I have
Yep.
not seen any Miami players coming out and saying that they've been cheated or haven't been
Mm-mm.
paid.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And so, yeah, this sounds like Florida again promising the moon, and really, at at worst, never having any intention of paying, and at best, just being awfully and embarrassingly mismanaged, uncommunicative, and kind of all over the place in what their ability was. Let's go! 3 more outs.
This is why I want it to become a situation where the schools pay the kids directly and you know where the money's coming from.
I wonder.
You can't tell me this is not the first time that something like this has happened. Not this scale. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, there's not many. I don't know if anyone's been promised $13.5 million. I mean, most of these guys, even top guys, are getting between $1 to $2 million per year.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what else comes from this. What other players have been screwed?
KMC says the Athletic reported all this Rashada stuff a year ago, so I believe it. Yeah, I mean,
Like I said, we knew these facts a year ago. We just didn't know
well,
that
no, but the only new details we've learned today is,
what?
or maybe this not these might not be facts, but the shape of the story, right? Like we thought the deal had fallen apart, but it didn't feel as one-sided as this presents itself, which of course
Florida
because it's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We have to remember that when reading all this. That's why I keep saying allegedly and allegations and whatnot.
Well, I think if there's these text messages out there, it's going to be hard to kind of get around that.
We'll see. I mean,
right? Why would you put out there that there's text messages if you're not ready to produce those? To me, the fact that they're saying that there's messages out there, I don't know if they don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
they said we had them, but they said there's text messages. They're not going to just blindly throw out there that, there's text messages from Napier, there's text messages from the collective.
They didn't. Okay, to be clear, Napier did not text. They're alleging, I think it was probably through a call, just that Napier personally vouched on signing day that they were going to give him $1 million, and it caused Rashada's dad to text Jaden's agent and be like, "Hey, Coach Napier said have Cox on a plane. He's going to wire the $1 million. He wants the paperwork. I'm sending it if you're good." So again, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know like legally because of how shady these NIL deals are. Like, because remember, that's another reason why this story didn't feel like maybe it was going anywhere a year ago, Aaron. Florida was very confident they had done nothing legally wrong.
Yeah.
They were very, very confident that they were well within their rights to terminate.
Yeah, I feel like they knew that it wasn't a good look. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, it's not a good look when you promise a kid X amount of dollars in this era and you can't produce that money, especially the quarterback position. So like it was more of just like a black eye, little stain on the university and the athletic program, but it wasn't anything that you thought was going to blow back into a legal action. So yeah, this is a nightmare for Florida. There's no doubt about it. Like, this is the worst case possible.
Steven Milam home run.
The game's over. The game is over.
Never over.
The game is over.
College baseball.
Game is over.
College baseball, dude. So do you think Jaden Rashada? Do you think I don't know. Actually, that's a dumb question. We're not lawyers. I don't know if he wins this. The only thing I feel comfortable saying is this is a even bigger black eye on Florida than it originally was. And it's an awful look for Napier. And it's just, and really it is the boogeyman that everybody was trying to talk about when they were, when NIL was originally coming about, right? And we were talking about players being misled and manipulated. Like, this quite literally is the exact situation where Jaden Rashada may have foregone over $9 million may have foregone over $9 million to chase money that never actually existed on the promises of very rich people who, again,
Yep.
I do agree with the lawyer there. If the allegations are true and they're actually saying this and you're 19, like, yeah, I'm going to go with the $13 million offer
Yes.
and believe that it's real over the $9 million one.
Why would you not? It's a collective that is representing the University of Florida. How would you not believe that's a
Yeah.
legit number?
Yeah, I agree. Bo Kenny says T-Bob Acton is happy about beating UGA baseball, stems 100% from his frustration with football. Let's be clear about this. College baseball in Baton Rouge is akin to a religion. Like everybody, y'all have the Braves, right? So y'all have like pro baseball to care about. I used to love the Braves growing up, my favorite team of any sport. But like we got the Tigers down here, and right now this has been an awful year for LSU baseball where they finished very strong. And if they win today, they will make the postseason. If they don't, it's going to come down to Selection Monday. So this is a massive deal for LSU baseball fans. Fucking right, baby. This is a massive deal for LSU baseball fans. And you don't have to care. That's fine. But like, I personally, the older I get, the more and more I fall in love with college baseball. It's a slow pace really appeals to me. It's so much fun to drink with your neighbors while watching the games. It's got a great rhythm where it's every weekend, you're playing 3 SEC games, 30 on the season. If you hit 18 wins, you're likely to be a national seed. You hit 16, 17, you'll have a very good chance of being a regional host. You hit 14, you'll definitely make the tournament. You hit 13, you might make the tournament. Like the Friday night guys, you're badasses Saturday, Sunday. It's just great. It's just great. And so, yeah, if I see him on edge, it's because this is a massive deal for LSU. No.
He's getting his haircut tomorrow.
I am. And this will make me feel a bit better if at least I know that LSU is going to be in the college baseball tournament. I mean, look, we're trying to become the first national champion in 3 years to not miss out on the tournament next year. Mississippi State won it 3 years ago. They missed tournament next year. Ole Miss missed tournament. LSU went to last year, and it looked like for 95% of the year they were going to miss the tournament, and I'll be damned if they didn't find their way. If they haven't nearly found their way out. 3 more out, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, guys.
Come on, Docs.
So yeah, I think the overall takeaway for Rashada is just Florida looks like a joke.
Yeah.
ESPN did their post-spring top 25 power rankings. And, no surprise here. The top 5 is such UGA, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame. Anything jump out to you there?
Notre Dame at 5? Did that not jump out to you a little bit?
It does seem a little fat and cocky, doesn't it?
A little fat and cocky.
What exactly has Notre Dame done to get this amount of love?
New quarterback. I mean, Riley Leonard. They obviously got your boy Mike Denbrock, new OC, former LSU offensive coordinator.
True. Leonard and Denbrock probably a strong combo to pick up for sure.
But to put him ahead of like Alabama and Ole Miss, I mean, like, listen, I think Notre Dame has potentially top 10 team. I know there's a lot of people feeling like they're going to make their playoff team this year. Going to be a great defense, no doubt about it. But I'm not as in love with Riley Leonard as a lot of people are. I think there's a lot that is a work in progress throwing the football. But if Denbrock can work the magic that he did with Jaden with Riley Leonard, and we see a massive increase from him, then yeah, they're a true contender. They're a true team that can contend. But to say they're number 5 right now ahead of some of these other teams, I would say they're right around 8 to 10, somewhere in that mark for me.
Well, and Bo Molinari,
we talked about yesterday. Like I think A&M wins the first matchup.
So that's Bo Molinari says Notre Dame going to get spanked week 1, and that is kind of the deal. It's like for Notre Dame, I think that's actually it's a great opportunity for both teams, right? Because A&M, if they lose, okay, well, that's not the biggest deal from the A&M perspective. They're kind of supposed to. Whereas if they win, well, then all of a sudden the Mike Elko era is off with a resounding start. But then again, if Notre Dame goes and like beats the shit out of A&M, because you're going to see the upset talk continue to build in the run up to that game. So if Notre Dame just goes and handles them, well, then everybody's gonna be like, oh shit, maybe Notre Dame is that team. Again, though, Mike Elko, who knows Riley Leonard better than Mike Elko? and maybe how to battle against him. So, yeah, I think it's a massive week 1. I think Notre Dame being at 5 does kind of jump out. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Probably would have slotted them behind Ole Miss and Bama. I think the 6, 7, 8 run on Ole Miss, Bama, Mizzou is pretty interesting there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you may say like, Utah at 9 is interesting. Are they as talented depth wise as, say Florida State or Penn State or LSU, Tennessee? Like maybe not, but you have to throw into the account, like what conference are they in?
Yeah, they're going to be in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're in the Big 12. They're the best team in the Big 12. I think most people would assume and say heading into the season, the favorites to win the conference. So you're kind of like pre-setting like, hey, this Utah team with their quarterback back, most likely going to be a playoff team, probably going to be a top 10 team for the entire season.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Like Utah is maybe exactly what Aaron's getting at. It's not to say that maybe they're objectively as good as all those other teams, but they're best in their conference, and they probably are. I mean, they're very good, to be fair.
Michigan at 10's a little high. A little high.
Yeah, but I kind of get it. You let the champs prove you wrong, right? Like if you're going to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, give this Michigan team that's been on a 3-year Big Ten champion run, national champion culmination. Like I don't mind giving them the benefit of the doubt there and then letting them prove you wrong.
Yeah,
I'd rather err on that side. FSU 11 again. If FSU can win the ACC again and be close to even what they were last year, then Mike Norvell is actually the portal king.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has rebuilt this team from nothing if they manage to stay good enough to be ranked where they are right there. Penn State checking in at 12. So in a college football playoff, well, I mean, actually, let's not even play that game yet because there's too many SEC teams in the top 10 that wouldn't last. But Penn State at 12, NC State at 13.
Dude, there's a lot of noise about NC State. A lot of love for the Wolfpack.
I feel like the Wolfpack are always solid, right? I think they finished 9-4, dropping that bowl game to Kansas State last year. Solid team, though. But I feel like every time you give yourself over to NC State, they disappoint you.
Well, they got a new quarterback, Grayson McCall, quarterback from Coastal Carolina, is there.
Oh, they got Grayson?
They got Grayson. So
I did not realize that.
That's a big freaking deal right there. I talked to a lot of guys in the ACC, and they keep talking about like NC State could be the team that ends up winning that conference.
I know they got a great defense, and that shouldn't be going anywhere. So NC State 13, LSU checking in at 14, and then Tennessee at 15. Interestingly, Jesse Simonton from On3 just came out with his SEC power rankings, Aaron, and it followed this exact same setup. It was UGA, Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama, Mizzou. He went Tennessee, then LSU. Who would you have ranked? You would agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Even though Tennessee had a worse record last year.
I've been saying this for months now. I think I would pick.
I know.
I think Tennessee is. I think Tennessee's a playoff team.
That's impossible. Then who's going to fail? Then to which of every other SEC team name that I just so you're saying Mizzou's going to fail? You're saying Ole Miss is going to fail?
All right, let's say the SEC gets 4 teams in.
Yeah, Georgia, Texas, Bama.
Bama, then it's Ole Miss, Missouri, Tennessee. Golly. They're like LSU, man. They're fringe. They're right there on the outside.
Who,
Nico. I think Nico's gonna be pretty damn good.
Here's how me and Jake, it's funny that you sent this article because Jake did too for our morning show. Let's go, Tommy. Me and Jake broke it down this morning, and I kind of agree with this, which is okay. In tier 1, I got UGA Texas.
You put Texas in tier 1.
Yeah, I'd put them in tier 1 with UGA. Okay. I think they should not fuck this up. I think in tier 2, I kind of got Bama alone. And then in tier 3, I have Ole Miss, Mizzou, Tennessee, LSU all grouped up together. Yep. And I don't know who's going to emerge out of that.
I agree. Then you go to schedules. I mean, who is the easiest of the schedules? I mean, Ole Miss, Missouri have 2 of the easier schedules in all of college football.
And Tennessee does too. And so does LSU, to be fair.
Yeah.
All
3 of them are like ones. I mean, you look at Tennessee's schedule. I mean, they got the big one, I think, for Tennessee that it's going to be the make or break. It's a team that we just talked about. It's NC State week 2. If you can win that game, get some momentum, if you're going to win that, obviously Nico's going to have to play his ass off. Then all of a sudden you look at the rest of the schedule, some of the big games you'll circle at Oklahoma. I think they can win that game. Florida, they should win that game. You get Alabama at home, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and then the next big one is at Georgia. So really very favorable schedule for them. Very, very favorable schedule for Ole Miss, Missouri, and like you said, LSU too. So I don't know. I think
Which
all
is
four of
interesting
them. I think
because
all
they're
four
all
of them can make
grouped
the
up right
playoffs.
there.
Yeah.
No, they can't though. That's what I'm saying. You're saying
I'm saying like
capable.
all four of those.
Oh yeah.
Individually,
Sorry.
you could say like at the end of the season, Tennessee in the playoffs. I would believe it. LSU's in the playoffs.
Okay.
I honestly think like with LSU and the issues on the defense, to me, if there's a team that I would say, which one are you for sure saying is not going to make the playoffs? I would say LSU is that team.
Interesting.
Of the four.
I feel that I would the only one I'd give a slight edge to, because again, I do think that LSU has question marks all over the field. They don't have great defense. No. I guess I'm saying I agree with you. I'm not as optimistic as a lot of the locals here. Like I think playoffs are the goal, but I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I do kind of still have them ahead of Tennessee though.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nussmeier's more proven than Iamaleava. I think they were already better than Tennessee last year, right? And so I'm not going to give Tennessee that benefit of the doubt until they prove it.
Week two. It's gonna be a damn good game versus NC State. Clemson at 16.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Clemson's still a top 20 team in the country. Like, let's not get it twisted. It's just that they refuse to adapt to win championships anymore.
Yeah. The last two are interesting. Miami and USC 24.
Well, hold on there. Don't jump the gun here. Okay. Kansas State at 17, one of the Big 12 contenders, absolutely. Yep. OU at 18. Can OU win enough games to stay in the top 25? I mean, because can you be in the top? If you can't be 18, if you 8-4,
you can be.
Can you at 8-4? You can be in the top 25.
I don't think they're going to be 8-4. I think they're 7-5. I don't think OU is top 25 end of the season.
We have Oklahoma State at 19, just constantly harassing and torturing Boomer Sooner after ruining their year last year. They're nipping on their heels. Arizona at 20. I would love for Arizona to stay good and for Noah Fafita and Tedero McMillan to be, to find their way in this new Big 12. That could also make the Big 12 even more exciting. Virginia Tech at 21. Am I crazy? When did Virginia Tech get good at football again?
I don't. That's a new one for me.
Is it too. Bud Elliott? Who's their head coach? No, it's Brent Pry.
Bud Elliott's a reporter for CBS.
Are you sure Bud Elliott's on the Virginia head coach?
Bud Elliott's a reporter for CBS.
I don't think so, dude.
Yes, you're a jackass.
I don't think so. No, look at this. Bud Elliott was an old Eastern New Mexico football head coach. Also the head coach at Northwest Missouri State, Texas Arlington. Yeah. Very famous coach from back in the day. Actually, at the time of his retirement, Bud Elliott ranked 3rd in victories among active Division II coaches. How about that?
But nothing to do with Virginia Tech.
No, nothing at all. Nothing. That's on me. Brent Pry, whatever. I got to be honest. I know nothing about Virginia Tech, y'all. Good for them. Kansas at 22. Hell yeah. Jalen Daniels, Lance Leipold. We love to see it.
Healthy.
Please stay healthy. Iowa at 23, of course. Oh, I'm thinking of Bud Foster. Thank you, Team Crop Dusters. Bud Foster. And then finally, Miami and USC at 20, 24, and 25. So what do you want to say about them?
USC will be out after first week. I
mean, if LSU can win a season opener,
they'll win the season opener.
I
don't think how bad would it be if Miami loses to Florida with all the shit that's happened to Florida?
That would be the funniest thing ever. That would be so funny. That would be such a depressing moment. I mean, that's rock bottom for Hurricane fans. That is rock bottom for Hurricane fans. Not really, because I don't like Florida being good either. I don't want Florida to get
at least you like Billy. You fucking hate.
I do like Billy on a personal level, and I don't know Cristobal.
I like Billy
great
too,
on a personal level. It's just the nature of this game where you have to talk about people that you like, and so you can never. Like, I understand if I was to shake some of these guys' hands and they just wanted to fight, I'd be like, I get it, dude. Like I talk a lot of shit. That's on me. It's just kind of the nature of the game, and I apologize. I don't really apologize because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
T-Bob, what do y'all think about UCF? I got to study UCF, man. I don't know. They kind of fell off my radar last year. I was going to see if they made any noise, and they were just kind of there.
It'll be interesting how Gus takes KJ, who I think is very talented.
Oh, that's right.
KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been a big fan of KJ. He's just been up and down. Like last year was such a mess with the offense. They try to turn him into something that he wasn't. Try to go pro style, where Gus and what he does offensively is perfect for KJ, his running ability, his size. So like, I don't know. I really like him as a coach. I like him as a quarterback. If you have that guy that calling the shots for Gus, I think UCF could be pretty damn good in the Big 12.
Oh, okay. Tony Elliott at Virginia. Is that who I was actually thinking of? No, I mean, I'm a big believer. I wasn't thinking of Bud Foster. I was thinking of Tony Elliott. I'm a big believer in Gus Malzahn, but it didn't work out last year. So we'll see. Marshall Andrews, Tony Elliott is Virginia coach. Dumbass.
Is there J Dog wants to know, is there a dark
Are you a
horse?
dumbass if you don't know the Virginia football head coach?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I think Virginia football has to do a bit better, and Tony Elliott does before. Yes, I was combining Bud Foster and Tony Elliott, but I think I think Virginia's going to have to do a bit better before I get called a dumbass for that. I'll take Virginia Tech. If you're telling me Virginia Tech's 21 in the power rankings, and I don't know Brent Pry off the top of my head, I'll take that. But chill the fuck out. Virginia, Marshall, said with love.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Aaron, most kissable male celebrity. I was talking about Austin Butler the other day after Dune 2 with those big old juicy lips.
Big old lips. God, what a voice.
Tim Chalamet would probably be in that group for me. Tom Hardy probably up there. Maybe Seth Rogen. Give me your most kissable male celeb. Ryan Gosling. Incredible filmography. Just saw Barbie the first time the other night. Fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah, I'd go Ryan Gosling.
Over anybody?
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman too. Oh, that's right, Marshall. Good call. We're friends again. Bud Elliott's the blue chip ratio guy. That's who I was thinking of.
How about
24/7.
You remember
Viewers Name Reporter.
Do you ever watch Blue Mountain State?
No, I never did. Are you Alex Moran? No, because you were QB1.
Alan Richardson, who was Thad Castle.
Wait. That's how you're a fucking meathead. You want Thad Castle as your most kissable male celebrity?
No, I'm not saying that. Have you seen him in his newest movie?
I mean, I've seen how massive he is in fucking Reacher.
Fucking huge. God,
he's jacked. Yes,
gigantic.
I mean, to your point, I would like, yes, like.
I'm not going to watch Reacher because I don't want to see I don't want my wife seeing him with his shirt off. Is the reason why I'm not watching Reacher.
To marry someone that was going to like make me feel protected, and I didn't want to have to be like the defender in the relationship. To your point, Thad Castle would be up on that list.
We didn't look like that in Blue Mountain State. Then we're watching this movie the other night, and it's based on a true story. A really good movie, actually. You'd like it. Based on World War II, like this Black Ops unit in. He was just
wait. Which one? The League of Ungentlely Warfare?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know which two very famous people were in the group, the spy group? One, Ian Fleming. Who's Ian Fleming? Aaron Murray. He's the guy who wrote all of the James Bond books.
Yes, they said at the end. Yes.
And then two, Christopher Lee. Who's Christopher Lee? A man who has literally appeared in more movies than anybody in history. Christopher Lee, legend. Sir Christopher Lee, rest in peace. I'm just looking at Alan Rickson now without his shirt off, and I apologize for my initial reaction. Maybe he should be on most kissable list because this is just raw manly sex appeal here. My God.
I'm literally I'm reading the Reacher book right now, and I'm like, I'm not watching the show because I don't want Sharon to see him with the shirt off.
How tall is he?
He looks like he's
Because like in Reacher, he's also supposed to be giant, right?
yeah. Yeah. Reacher's
Okay, he's only 6'3".
thick.
He's
He
6'3" for
looks
what it's
bigger
worth.
than that.
No, well, it's because a bunch of small Hollywood people, right? It's
Yeah.
like the first, like, how tall do you think Jason Momoa is?
He looks like he's about the same size.
Exactly. First time I ever saw Jason Momoa, we were the same height, but he was way skinnier. But
You're
he's
like
like
6'3"
shredded.
though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
Jack
mean, I
Reacher.
thought Jason Momoa was like 6'6".
Yeah.
Bo Kinney, on my life, T-Bob's at least 15% gay. You don't have to do your life. I told you all this, Bo. I believe sexuality is a scale. I don't think it's binary. I think it's a sliding scale, and that we all fall somewhere on there. And yeah, I'm probably a little like closer to the middle than others are. So yeah, you don't have to put it on your life. It's all good.
Can you get that big without steroids?
What are steroids though?
Steroids.
Are we talking like, no, but I'm saying, are we talking like old school, super unhealthy anabolics? Are we talking about like borderline healthy, like HGH and like anti-aging stuff, then like testosterone and stuff? Like there's like healthy cocktails that I feel like if you're rich enough, you can create where it's not like, oh, you're going to die because you're doing steroids.
Well, I want the fucking what he's taking. Shit.
Well, let's hope that Bitcoin just keeps pumping for you then, Aaron.
There you go.
know?
Keep pumping.
Okay, he said he takes tee shots. That makes sense for sure. Light Dog says The Rock is definitely natural. Yeah, exactly. Look, I took testosterone for like a year in my late 20s, and it was incredible. It felt so good. The only problem was I was like, man, am I too young to be on this for like the rest of my life?
Probably.
And then I was having kids, so I just chilled out. But I'm definitely gonna get back on it one day. It's gonna be awesome, dude. I can't wait.
T-boys.
Oh wow, what?
If we get the 25K,
wait, Aaron, you don't want to sit here. You don't want to sit here and hang out with me. This is the last time you get to see me without my fade. You don't want to just sit here and hang out with me.
Fade. Next time we see T-Bob on Thursday, we'll be doing 11 a.m. Thursday, FYI. So for those who want to see it for the first time,
11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central.
11 a.m. Eastern, because T-Bob
I'm
has
not
to
even gonna have
go
good lighting on it.
You'll be fine.
All right. I love y'all. I'll let Aaron go. I'm tired of annoying him. Y'all have a great day. We love you. We'll see you for the next episode of Snap. Oh, wait, by the way, guys, just like, subscribe. Again.